This is Hall County Sports, brought to you by Green Ford on Browns Bridge Road in Gainesville. Check out the latest deals. Remember, when you go Green Ford. By Mountain View Auto Repair, a full-service shop for all of your automotive needs. Call Danny at Mountain View Auto Repair, 770-535-7278. And by McKelvey Road United Methodist Church. Visit us on McKelvey Road in Oakwood. With 3 worship services, Kids Town, and adult small groups, McKelvey Road United Methodist Church dedicated to transforming the world through the good news of Jesus Christ. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Hall County Sports Television. I'm your host, Garry Glenn. We got sort of a world record show for you this time out, and we'll start things off with an achievement in an unusual sport, indoor rowing. For 3 straight days, from Monday, May 23rd through Thursday, May 27th, the 52-year-old Fit to Try manager Kelly Parham was on a Concept 2 rowing machine at Fitness Forum on Thompson Bridge Road in Gainesville to break the world endurance record on that piece of equipment. After shattering his age group record early on, Kelly finally stopped at around noon on Thursday after 77 hours straight. The distance, more than 320 miles. Breaking the all-time record, which has stood for about 5 years. He was only allowed 10 minutes of rest per hour to eat and take care of other necessities. Kelly already holds some biking endurance records across Georgia in 18 hours and Mississippi in 22, and once rode a bike for 24 hours for about 450 miles, and that was around 6 miles shy of that endurance mark. Now, he didn't just do this latest thing just to do it, raising money for a charity called Call to All Ministries. Here to tell us more about that and how it was to do all of this is the man himself, longtime friend of mine, Kelly Parham, known him for several years now. Kelly, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Gary.
You pretty much recovered now?
Yeah, I slept about 10 hours afterwards and then woke up thirsty, went back for about 4 more hours, and then everything's been back to normal.
Any lingering effects?
Only my left hand is still numb. I can use it, but I can't feel it.
Oh, goodness gracious. And somebody told me you had some blistering during the time.
On my Achilles heels, the Achilles tendons in my heels, and my rear end.
Well, I also said, and folks, somebody told me that Kelly said, I can now tell you the difference between how a screw is inserted, if it's a Phillips head or a straight on.
That's right.
You get a little sensitive, I guess.
Right, and a friend of mine, Jack Hare, who runs CrossFit Gainesville, let me borrow 3 of his rowers so I didn't have to occupy the gym's rowers, and he gave me a gel pad that he used on his kayak and his indoor rower. That saved me. Without that gel pad, I don't know if I could have made it all those hours.
So how did you get into all this endurance stuff, Kelly? I mean, the biking, I've seen you on mountain bikes and riding trails forever and ever, and we've already talked about your biking achievements. So what attracts you to this marathon stuff? Well,
I've never been a turbo, Gary. I've been a diesel. So I can just keep going and going, like the Energizer. Yeah. My friends used to call me the Energizer Bunny. You know, I'm not that fast, but once I get wound up, I can just keep going and just to see how long you can go. It's always been like a challenge to look at records like that and say, well, maybe I can do that. And when I worked at the hospital back at Fit for Life, we had the 24-hour record for distance rowed. And then this guy from England, the military, he's in the British military, did this 73-hour row, and I said, that's crazy. I would never attempt that. Yeah. But you know, you never say never. And I was looking for something. Every year I try to do something like Jack LaLanne was always my hero growing up, and doing his birthday stunts and swimming and whatever kind of calisthenic thing. And so my wife kept asking me, well, what are you going to do this year? So she's used to me doing crazy things. And I said, well, I don't know. I'm thinking about that rowing record. And she said, which one? I said, the 73-hour. And she says, oh, well, I said, the gym's a perfect place to do it. It's a 24-hour gym. Somebody has to be there all the time to check you out. Right. And people coming through keep you motivated, and I had a good group of friends that helped supported me at night. And I thought, well, let's give it a shot. And then, you know, that's what made me pick that record first of the year.
Now, you're a local guy, aren't you, from around here, this neck of the woods originally?
Yeah, well, my wife was raised here. I was raised in Commerce.
Okay. Right,
rival.
Jackson County. Well, that's close. We're close, I understand.
But I've lived here in this area for like since I've been married, 30-something years.
What did you do in high school? What sports were you involved in high school?
The basics. If you were raised in Commerce or Jefferson, you had to play football.
Right.
And then we had ran track, distance in track. Mm-hmm. Those were my sports.
What was the best part of it, and what was the worst part of it?
The worst part was like that first night. I had a little cramp working on my inner thigh, and I kept thinking, this is too early for this to happen.
Yeah.
Because on some of my cycling, attempt on those records. If I had a problem, it was on my inner thigh, and I thought, well, heck, this is 24 hours into it, I'm already having trouble. But Rick Bates, from my massage therapy friend, he saved me. He was on speed dial, and they would call him from the gym, and he would come over there, and it just took one treatment during the middle of the night for him to work that area out, and it was fine from then on out. It was a gift from God, and because I knew it would come back.
Right.
I thought it would come back, and then I guess the best part was getting toward the end. That third morning, Thursday morning, and when I was, I said, well, I got like one more hour,
right,
and at least I'll tie the record, and then I was feeling good. I mean, as far as I didn't have any trouble except for, like I say, just pressure points. Like the same thing on a bicycle,
right,
your hands, your feet, and your rear end are where you're trying to keep comfortable. And
get a little energized when you can see the goal.
Right,
don't you? Yeah,
right. I didn't even think about it. I was taking baby steps. People want to keep up with the hours and have it posted and all this stuff. I said, I don't even want to know. I mean, because I didn't do it in my head.
Well, tell me a little bit more about this ministry, this Call to All Ministries. What is this?
A friend of mine, Athel Barnes, and his wife Debbie, they're from South Africa originally, and they came. Athel is a mechanical engineer by trade. That's what his education's in, and he was hired from a car manufacturer in Detroit to move from South Africa to the United States 8 or 10 years ago. But when he got here, he realized that that wasn't the kind of work God wanted him to do, and he'd been always involved in other mission work or helping organize, and that's his talent, is organizing and getting people in the right places. And he worked for the AIM, or Adventures in Missions, here in Gainesville, located right behind Target, for a few years. And then Call to All hired him to come run their school. The school's actually located at the University of the Nations in Kona, Hawaii. And he and his wife Debbie and their 2 children moved there 2 years ago to run it. And what Call to All does is they map all the missionary groups all around the world, so there's no overlap. And so when they send out people, they send them to people who haven't been touched yet. And my son actually got to do that for 6 months this past year, which is a cool blessing. Cool.
So what's up next for you? Got any more goals and endurance stuff in mind? Are you going to do anything?
My friends and I want to do some more adventure racing. I have, like I said, the friends who helped me with this, support me in this record attempt, Gary Martin, who teaches over at the Da Vinci Academy, and Jason Chesser, who teaches over at Chesty Middle School, and Dan Clements, and all the guys who used to be at the hospital. They're gonna. We always did adventure racing together, like 2 and 3 4-day adventure races, and we want to try to pick one of those out in the future and train for that. Cool.
And your business, you're changing the locale and the name.
Right. We've been doing real well. We've been real blessed at Fit to Try, where we're located right next to Publix on the other end of the shopping center on Thompson Bridge Road from the Fitness Forum. And we're getting bigger and better, we think. We're going to move over to Limestone Parkway, right next to J&J Food, where the old Rick's Gym or Gold's Gym used to be.
Yeah.
And we're also going to be including a smoothie bar, coffee bar. Rick, the massage therapist, is going to have his clinic there. So we'll, in a t-shirt business, Jenny Crumley's bringing in a custom t-shirt business. So under one roof, it's going to be called Baxter's Multisport. And so we'll try to have everything for everybody.
Congratulations on the world record. Good luck in the new business venture, and stay in touch.
Appreciate it, Gary.
Kelly Parham, world record holder. We go out on the water in some unusual crafts in just a moment. If you are looking for a quality used car, then look no further than the car store on McKellar Road between Gainesville and Beaufort. You won't find clunkers or junkers at the car store, just vehicles you'll be proud to own. At the car store, they can finance you on the spot, no matter what your credit is. They have a variety of plans. You can even phone your payments in. At the car store, they've been giving outstanding service to the community for over 20 years. At the car store, everybody rides.
Come on down to the car store. We can make you happy. My name's Bob Watson, and I guarantee it.
Mountain View Auto Repair is your local full-service auto repair shop. Trusted with your vehicles for over 20 years, our experience will ensure that your vehicle will stay well-maintained year-round.
Mountain View Auto Repair is the place to bring your vehicle. They'll always treat you right. The service is good and the prices are very reasonable.
You can trust our experts in everything from transmissions to brakes to engine repairs and oil changes.
If you don't need the repairs, Danny's going to tell you. He does what he says he's going to do, and he'll make it right every time.
He takes patience and explains it so that I can understand. It's very easy for me to talk to Danny about a problem I think I have with my vehicle.
Go see Danny at Mountain View Auto Repair. He will treat you right.
We are back. I'm Garry Glenn. Hall County Sports is the show. The Olympic venue at Lake Lanier stays busy a lot of the time, hosting various regattas and events. In fact, there were some big rowing events just been held in recent weeks, as some of you are aware of. But the weekend of May the 20th through the 22nd saw the arrival of what may be an Olympic discipline in 2016. Dragonboating is a 2,000-year-old sport that originated in Asia, although in the past 2 decades it's become the second most popular participation sport in the world, just behind soccer, believe it or not. At issue with the Olympic movement is that the size of most modern-day dragon boat teams is typically 25 people when you take into account the backup paddlers. Well, the International Canoe Federation, who is recognized as the authority in Olympic paddle sport, has embraced the 10-seat version as a way to hopefully showcase dragon boating during the Rio Games in 2016. And now there are 2 of these sports car dragon boats at the Lake Lanier Olympic Center at Clarks Bridge Road. Venue also home to the Southeast Regional Training Center for the United States Association for Canoe Kayak, or USAC, Dragon Boat USA, USAC under the umbrella of the ICF. Now, over that weekend last month, the 2 new boats and 2 others from the Dragon Boat USA National Training Center in the Manayunk, Philadelphia area were at the venue. Practices for national team hopefuls being held now, and Jim Odell, longtime friend, joins us now. He's a man who's already traveled abroad to do this dragon boat stuff and has had some success at it. Thanks for bringing in your buddy here, Jim, and thanks for being with us on the show.
My pleasure, Gary. Thank you for having me.
Now, we've already had some of your people on to talk about the experiences in Europe last year, and you were over there as well. You didn't come with them during that time, but you did get a chance to make that trip.
Absolutely. It was a fantastic trip. Dragon Boat USA did very, very well. Our Masters Group 40 and over paddlers, we medaled actually 6 times. And our senior team, the best of the best, took a bronze in the 10-seat mixed division, which really kind of sets the stage for the future, I believe, for dragon boating in the United States and abroad.
You're looking actually, because you've had like tryouts and things when you a year ago when you had the guy bring the computerized paddle and all that kind of stuff. And I've got a note here that says practice is open to anybody willing to try it through the Lanier Canoe and Kayak Club.
Yes, sir, absolutely. Because dragon boating is the second most popular participation sport in the world through festivals, through various types of other events around the world, it really is something that everybody can do. Now, of course, taking it to another level, you know, it takes time. However, if somebody wants to come on out and give it a try for the first time, why not? We'll definitely show them the ropes.
Well, and you don't know if you're going to be good at something a lot of times, so you try it, right?
Absolutely. That is absolutely correct.
Now, you've also got some chances to go next month to Toronto, right? On the ICF Club Crew Championships. That's a qualification for the national team?
Kind of. Yeah, our head coach up there in Manayunk, Mike Blundetto, the Club Crew Championships basically are taking clubs versus like a national team. Mm-hmm. So what he's doing is he's taking the few Lanier paddlers that will be going and combining them with his Manayunk crew, which is one of the top teams in the U.S. anyway. So Manayunk's going to go up there and do very, very well. It's unfortunately a trip that I will not be able to make, unfortunately, because my daughter's getting married the same weekend.
Well, there you go.
But can't convince her to get married in a dragon boat in Toronto. But we will have probably 4 to 6 Lanier paddlers making it up.
Well, good. Now, you'll keep in touch with us and let us know who's going to be going from the team.
Absolutely.
2012 ICF World Championships, with an eye at maybe making this an exhibition sport in Rio. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes, sir. In 2012 World Championships will be in Italy, and the way things are looking, because in Hungary there were some International Olympic Committee people there that got to see the 10 seats. The U.S. Olympic Committee has had people in 10-seat dragon boats in Oklahoma City. So there's a real movement afoot now, internationally and nationally, to see the 10-seat dragon boats get into the games. The Olympic Games are about popular sports.
Right.
So we fully expect the IOC to make that determination very soon that we will see 10-seat dragon boats in Rio in 2016.
Hot dog. Well, good work. Glad you were able to be with us and talk to us. Now, I imagine that what makes a good dragon boat paddler are the same things that make good athletes all the way around: strength, speed, endurance, all that stuff.
Strength, speed, endurance, and flexibility. The thing with this particular sport, and I'm sure you have seen some photos of it here on Gary's show, It's a very uncomfortable sport. I will tell people all the time, it's the hardest fun you'll ever have.
The hardest one. All right. Stay in touch, Jim.
Absolutely.
Good luck with all this, and thanks for bringing in your buddy, all right?
You're welcome.
Okay,
Thanks for
all
having
right.
us.
We start to play with the steel again when we return.
My name is Lloyd Smith.
I'm Renee Barnett.
My name's Alan Cudd.
My name's Don Cooper.
My name is Mike Stewart, and I attend McKever Road United Methodist Church, the church on the hill here in Oakwood, Georgia. We'd love for you to come join us.
This message has been brought to you by the people of the McKever Road United Methodist Church. Gary Cole, pastor.
Hurry in before we sell it all to G's Home Furnishing's $2 million cash-raising furniture blowout. Save like never before on living rooms, leather, dining rooms, bedrooms, bedding, accessories, and much, much more. Guaranteed lowest sale prices. If you can find it for less anywhere else, we'll match it or beat it. Tell your family, tell your friends, tell everyone you know to come in and take home fine furniture at savings of a lifetime. G's Home Furnishing's $2 million cash-raising furniture blowout. 11 Grove Street, Dahlonega. Going, gone.
We're back. I'm Garry Glenn. Hall County Sports is the show, continuing our record theme for this particular broadcast. More new national and world records, more Best Lifter awards, and a sweep of the team championships. All in all, not a bad weekend for the Georgia IronDawgs Powerlifting team at the 2011 American Powerlifting Committee National Powerlifting and Bench Press Championships this past Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in East Peoria, Illinois. IronDawg Dwan Johnson, an East Hall alumnus, not only claimed a national championship, but also the Raw Best Lifter Award in the prestigious Champion of Champions Cup. His 854.2-pound squat, 418.7-pound bench press, and 600.7 deadlift, and 1,873.6-pound totals were all national records in the Raw 140 kilogram. That's the 308.64 pounds plus men's open class. He won the full power event, and in April, Johnson had claimed similar awards at the APC Georgia State meet. During the Saturday bench press competition, IronDawg's Tim T. Moon of Gainesville and Dana Tripp of Grayson claimed first places and best lifter trophies in the men's and women's classes respectively, and led the team to a defense of the national bench press title they won a year ago in Athens. Moon had the heaviest bench of the day, lifting in the Masters men's equipped 45 to 49-year-old 275.58-pound class. Moon battled through some shoulder problems and blood sugar issues to easily push 540.13 pounds. Tripp, lifting in the Raw, that is the unequipped Submaster women's 114.64-pound division, set and then reset the world record for her class, finishing with a lift of over 83.22 pounds. Then on Sunday, Moon, who hadn't really squatted since his junior year in high school, stepped in for ailing full power team member L.B. Baker and won his class in the Raw division. Not only did he win, he set world records along the way for bench at 413.2, deadlift at 451.7, and total of 1,167.9. The closest competition of the bench day Saturday came in the Masters men's 55 to 59-year-old 90-kilogram class. That's a little bit better than 198.4 pounds. Yours truly was involved, and I came out on top of a spirited battle for first in the Masters men's Raw 55 to 59-year-old class with a new Raw world record press of 338.41 pounds. Just edged out Rick Dexter of Davenport, Ohio, who finished a mere half kilogram. That's a little over 1.1 pounds behind. Bob Kuhn of Peoria was third at 319.67 pounds. Also contributing to the bench team win was Dana Tripp's husband Russ, who equaled his own world mark in taking first in the Masters men's 40 to 44-year-old Raw 75 kilogram or 165.35 pounds class with his lift of 125 kilos. IronDawg Andy Williamson of Winterville took the national title in the equipped Masters men's 45 to 49-year-old 100 kilogram class with his press of 440.92 pounds. The IronDawgs full power contingent reclaimed that title after finishing second a year ago in Athens. Well, they actually got off to a good start on Friday when Svetlana Baker of Bogart won her age division, 55 to 59-year-old equipped 52 kilogram, 114.64 pounds, Masters women's class. She squatted 231.48, benched 132.28, and deadlifted 286.6 for a 650.36 pound total. Also earning full power places in national championships for the Dogs this past Sunday were Bernal strength coach and assistant women's softball coach Gary Hatfield, a North Hall grad, and Robert Payton of Gainesville, as well as Kevin Eubanks of Oconee County, who's making a comeback from a repair of a torn ACL, which resulted in a near-fatal staph infection. More on that in just a moment. Lifting equipped in the Masters men's 50 to 54-year-old 110 kilogram or 242.51 pound class. Gary Hatfield set world marks in the squat at 705.2, bench at 518, and total at 1801.7. Lifting raw in the Masters men's 40 to 44-year-old 125 kilogram or 275 plus pound class. All of Payton's lifts, 551 squat, 451.7 bench, and 600.9 deadlift, as well as 1603.6 pound total, were all world records. Also lifting raw in the Masters men's 40 to 44-year-old 90 kilogram, 198.41 pound class. Eubanks tied the bench press world mark at 325, also squatted 440.7 and deadlifted 501.5 and totaled 1,267.2 pounds. And we bring to the show now Kevin Eubanks, who's going to talk to us a little bit. First of all, Kevin, I want to ask you about your teammates, Big Dwan and then T-Moon. Dwan comes up big in big meets, doesn't he? At least he has lately.
Absolutely. He's a good lifter, real good lifter.
And what about Moon?
Oh, Moon, he's unbelievable for stepping up to the plate to help us out. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better person, better lifter to come in.
All right. Now, I had said that you have, back in lifting, only trained about 6 weeks for this meet.
Mm-hmm.
And went in, and we told you were crazy last year, lifting on that torn ACL. And you said, well, we said, now, Kevin, you need to get that fixed. And you said, well, I'm going in January, and I'm going to get it fixed.
We'll get it fixed.
And you got it fixed and then went home, and tell me about what happened from there.
Long story short, we go in, have the surgery, come out, 5 days later, start running a high fever, violent body shakes, trembles, and then start therapy. Actually start therapy the following week. And one of the surgeons come and got me out of therapy and said, you've got to get in the hospital now. You've got a raging staph infection.
Wow.
And it had been in my body for 7 days already prior to them finding out.
Wow. Well, being an athlete and a lifter is sort of a double-edged sword. Then you were strong enough to withstand all of that, but then you didn't know that you were getting close to actual death or losing your leg.
Not to the last minute. I mean, we were really scared because they were having to treat it as MRSA, even though it was MERS-E, a hybrid, but they still had to treat it as MRSA, which can come back at any time, but at least with MERS-E, we were able to kill it then because it had gotten in the body cavity and was traveling up the leg into the body. And once it reaches mid-thigh, then they start thinking, we've got to stop it, or we've got to start thinking about removal of the leg or the limb to keep it from getting up into the body.
Oh, goodness. What are you thinking now?
Lots and lots of prayers. First thought was, if this does happen, we can't stop it, we lose a limb, life changes.
Yeah.
But then you sit around and you realize that there's more things that are more important than that. But that also wakes you up as a athlete to push and fight and not give into this.
Mm-hmm.
So there again, with prayers and lots of determination, we just kept fighting. And prayers were answered, it stopped.
Amen, brother. Now, you've been around strength sports for a while. You used to do strongman stuff, too, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
So what gets you out of strongman into powerlifting?
I played with powerlifting for a couple of years, just small little meets, nothing big. And then I started training with guys that done the strongman.
Mm-hmm.
Being the smallest guy with the biggest guys, I wanted to show them that I had a backbone and we could do this. And I done that for 3 years, competed and stayed in the top 10 for 3 years in a row. Best finish was second place, qualified for the Strongman Nationals. And I had to make a decision between that or doing the APC competition. And my heart's here. So I switched back over to powerlifting and followed with this, and then here I am.
We're glad to have you on the team.
Thank you.
Let me tell you that. What part do you think being an athlete, a strength athlete, played in your recovery from all of this?
Determination. You can't be a halfway good athlete. You either are or you're not. You either live it or you don't. I don't think there's such things as hobbies that you can do to just to get you through, because a hobby you can put aside and pick it up later, right where you left off. And as an athlete, every day you put aside that you don't do something, it's a setback, and that's a day you cannot get back.
Well, I know that the WUAP Equipped World Championships are in Georgia, right here in Georgia in September, and the GPA Raw Worlds are in the state in December of this year. So looking towards some of that?
Absolutely. I'm thinking about trying to equipped for the first time. I train equipped just to help me with my raw lifts. But you have to be real careful with equipped, because you can really get hurt without knowing until it's too late. And I seem to have my own experiences of getting hurt without it.
Well, thank goodness you're okay now.
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to personally thank, before we get away, Nan and Paul Haggerty, as well as Barbara Rising, and of course my much beloved mother-in-law Sue Puckett and Dr. Chris Brooks for helping me out with my trip up there. Dr. Chris over at Lighthouse Chiropractic. Anybody you want to say a shout out or a thank you to?
First of all, just thank to the Lord in heaven above for blessing me with friends and people, a wonderful wife, and answering prayers. And then second of all, my wife, my family, my friends from the gym, and people like yourself that keep everybody going.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a part of it, isn't it? The camaraderie.
Absolutely.
Great to have you on the team.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Kevin Eubanks, all right, national champion. Next week, our weightlifting series will continue when we take a look at the sport of bodybuilding. I'm back to wrap it up when Hall County Sports concludes.
There are moments in life that you wish would last forever. Dreams that really do come true. Treasures worth protecting. And a future to prepare for. Turner Wood & Smith is with you every step of the way. Established in the Gainesville area in 1905. Turner Wood & Smith has become Northeast Georgia's largest independent insurance agency by offering professional service at competitive prices. Turner Wood & Smith, insuring your future since 1905.
Hi, we're back, and we're about ready to wrap it up. Let me tell you a little bit more about the new Brenau basketball coach. He comes from Lise McRae College. He was an assistant there. Chris Stewart, named head basketball coach for the Tigers. He is a graduate of Duluth High School, and he'll replace Gary Bays. Stewart's been a high school head coach and a college assistant. He led Forbush High in North Carolina to 5 straight playoff appearances, was selected Mountain Valley Athletic Conference Coach of the Year in 2002. Lise McRae's in Banner Elk, North Carolina. He is scheduled to be with us, Chris Stewart is, on next week's show. Meanwhile, Riverside Military Academy says that Mike Hutch will take over the Eagles baseball program next August. He played his college baseball at Florida International University in Miami. Hutch comes to Gainesville after coaching baseball and softball at Athens Christian School for 11 years, where he led the Eagles to 4 state tournament appearances and was selected as Region 8A Coach of the Year in 2011. He has 21 years of head coaching experience, which includes both high school and college levels. Hutch was also a Major League scout for the Seattle Mariners organization. The summer training sessions for area football teams have already hit, and Flowery Branch High has already had a good outing in one of those big get-togethers, winning most of their battles at the Mark Richt 7-on-7 passing and line camp in Athens. The Falcons, who finished second in Region 8 Quad A last season, went 7-2 during the day and beat Callaway for the title game. In youth sports, the Davis Middle School girls soccer team took their 6th straight county championship, but it wasn't easy. They actually had to go to penalty kicks after the 2 overtimes to beat West Hall. The 13 and under Lula Lugnut travel baseball team took care of business in McDonough, winning the annual Clash of Champions NIT tournament. And the North Hall team, the part of the Lanier Canoe and Kayak Club, won their part of that recent regatta that ran at the same time as the Rubber Duck Derby. Okay, some more postseason honors to talk to you about. In golf, Gainesville's Parks Brown, Will Frankham, and Pep Brown were second team AAA All-State by the Georgia High School Golf Coaches Association. Grant Lassiter and Jackson Bishop were honorable mention All-State. Parks, Brown, and Frankham were first team All-Area as announced by the Gainesville Times. And their coach, Bryson Worley, was Area Coach of the Year in the Times and Region 8 AAA Coach of the Year. The team state runner-up, North Hall, by the way, had 2 players on the Gainesville Times All-Area team, Andy Bracewell and Ryan Matthews. In baseball, Flowery Branch had a couple of juniors make the first team All-Region 8 Quad A. That was outfielder Brody Thomas and infielder Logan Conley. Congratulations to those Falcons. In soccer, Chesterton's Alexis Rebillard, just a sophomore, and Johnson's senior Ariel Mejia were the Times All-Area Players of the Year, announced just this past Sunday, while Flowery Branch girls coach Katie Skelly was the paper's local coach of the year. And I know that last week I said we'd name our Springtime Athletic Awards winners on the show, but it turns out that all of the baseball data is not in just yet, so with your indulgence, we'll name those winners next week. We did have some outstanding performances by our Hall County athletes this spring, and we just don't want to leave anybody out. That's our show for this week. I'm Garry Glenn. Join us next week right here for more Hall County Sports. Hall County Sports is brought to you in part by Green Ford on Browns Bridge Road in Gainesville. Check out the latest deals. And remember, when you go Green Ford. By Mountain View Auto Repair, a full-service shop for all of your automotive needs. Call Danny at Mountain View Auto Repair at 770-535-7278. And by McKelvey Road United Methodist Church. Visit us on McKelvey Road in Oakwood with 3 worship services every Sunday morning, Kids Town and adult small groups. McKelvey Road United Methodist Church is dedicated to transforming the world through the good news of Jesus Christ.